Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to me talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that just dropped. And I'm not going to do a play-by-play of the trailer and watch it, react, and all this kind of stuff. I've already watched it, and also, these videos don't get enough viewers to warrant the super hard work that goes into making these kind of reaction videos. So I just want to talk about a few key points here. First, I want to get the negative out of the way. There's too many Ryan Reynoldsisms in it, which is when he takes one joke, or when he's given a bit too much carte blanche, he just beats a joke to death, and too much repetition of it, and too much kind of sitcom pacing on that joke, and that drives me crazy. I'm hoping we don't get too much of it, and when the time gets serious, things actually get serious. But other than that, I really like the trailer. I like what we've got. The stakes seem to be very high, and it seems to be basically, it seems tied to Deadpool having to capture Wolverine and bring him to the TVA or something along those lines, because something's happened that puts Deadpool's timeline in danger of being eradicated, or maybe Deadpool's a variant, but there's a bargaining chip here where they'll allow something or other, as long as they bring back Deadpool. I can't remember the first trailer exactly, but doesn't matter. But the stakes are very high, and I like that we get a nice bit of heart from Deadpool as well, talking about, he'll lose everything. We're talking about a guy, when you see him in the first film, he was lonely, he didn't have much of anything. And, then he meets Vanessa, but then obviously he's diagnosed with cancer. Then he goes through the kind of Weapon X-like program that, saves him, gives him enhanced healing and all this kind of stuff. And through that, his journey, he builds this wonderful friendship. So by the end of the second Deadpool, he's got this lovely group of friends, he's got a nice life, and everything's pretty good for Deadpool. And now he's in danger of losing all of that. Now, also, bear in mind, I don't think this is the Deadpool from Deadpool 3. The director did say this is not a direct sequel to that Deadpool. So, obviously, this is going to be a variation, a split off from the timeline, or something like that. Because don't forget as well, Deadpool, he time traveled. And he changed the timeline in his own universe, which, if you look at X-Men 2, he did a lot of that. And so, obviously, this is going to play into that. But I know what I said earlier, but I don't know if that plays into it, or they've forgotten about that. And this is like, has to get Wolverine, there's a bargaining chip, or they work together, or something like that. But either way, you can tell that Deadpool doesn't want to lose what he has, and that aspect of it I like. The action scene looks fantastic. Action scenes look fantastic, which is good because they were really good in the first and the second Deadpool. So carrying this on as well is great. But the key kind of elements that I really stood out to me. Number one, we have Cassandra Nova in this, from the looks of it. And if you don't know who Cassandra Nova is, I like Cassandra Nova. Her origins is garbage. It is so atypical of retconning or adding in like soap opera stuff, which I've always loathed in comic book. It's like the constant changing of a person's origins, or splintering off and adding more stuff just because each writer and all that. This is what I used to love about Claremont, because Claremont had very strict control over his characters and their origins, and everything was very linear. But after that, after he clashed with the editors, everything splintered, and the 90s were just... Anyway, the less said about that, the better. But Cassandra Nova is basically Charles Xavier's twin sister. And I can't remember what happened to her. They were in the womb together, they had a fight, and then something happened. And I can't remember, I blocked it off. It's the only downer from New X-Men. The rest of New X-Men was fantastic. One of the few good Grant Morrison projects that I thought he did a fantastic job. But she seems to be in this kind of... I'm going to actually read you Cassandra Nova's origins, because this is how stupid it is, and it needs to be added in. And I really hope this isn't what we get in the film. Cassandra Nova is a formidable enemy of the X-Men, specifically her brother, Professor Charles Xavier, originating as a Mumudrai, a Shi'ar term for anti-self, who exists within the astral plane. Cassandra embodied the dark counterpart of her twin brother. Very often we go to the dark part of Charles Xavier. I mean, it's the whole premise of Onslaught. Her brother, while in the womb, recognized her evil presence and was forced to kill her, causing a miscarriage. Surviving undetected for years as a growing mass of cells in a sewer wall, Cassandra meticulously crafted a new body for herself, fueled by a burning desire for revenge against her brother. Upon emerging, she swiftly seized control of a secret, wild master mode in South American jungles, leveraging its capabilities to unleash a genocidal massacre on Genosa using deadly sentinels. So that is her ridiculous origin story. I mean, of course, if you've watched the X-Men 97 cartoon, you get that element of New X-Men is in that cartoon with the giant sentinel that descends into Genosha and massacres a whole lot of mutants. That's where this comes from, Cassandra Nova. This is why it's very interesting her being in this, because is she going to play a part in X-Men 97 as well? Who knows? Anyway, I needed to get that in because it's ridiculous. In this kind of weird apocalyptic world, and one of the cool parts that we see the giant remains of Ant-Man, and the helmet lifts and there's a giant skeleton under there, and it seems like that's where Cassandra Nova's base is. She's living inside there. We'll see the helmet lifting, but in front of her, this is why I wanted to make this video, because I'm like, oh, hang on. Because you'll see here clearly in this picture, you'll see Lady Deathstrike and you'll see Azazel, who were also in the X-Men films. And they're very much carrying their look from there. I don't know who everyone else is in the scene. They're the two that stand out the most to me. Others could be other mutants, but difficult to tell at this point. There might be Pyro in there. I think Pyro's kind of sitting on the car because we know we already knew he was in this. You might get Callisto, who was in X-Men 3, maybe Toad as well. There's a person hunched over that could be Toad. But either way, we know we're getting different, and that's what I want from this film. I want like a bunch of different cameos and other mutants in this. I don't want it to just be Deadpool and Wolverine and all this kind of stuff. I want to see other mutants in this. So that was a really interesting part. And what Cassandra Nova's part, I mean, having her in this is huge. It is huge because she was huge in New X-Men, and what's her role going to be in this? Is she the variant? Is she just classed as a variant in this? And so they're all living in this kind of weird end of time place, parallel to where that great big ether worm thing lives, whatever it's bloody called, and so there is a lot of little nuggets here that make this very, very interesting to go and watch. And I genuinely can't wait. We also get a nice little nod to Liefeld as well, you can see here in the background. And we also get Copperhead, who Copperhead, I believe, is part of the Serpent Society. And we know that Brave New World is coming, Captain America. But I don't know if they've cut the Serpent Society out of that film now, because they've done some re-edits and reshoots. Very much looking forward to this. I really wanted to talk about the kind of key standouts, especially the giant Ant-Man head, Cassandra Nova being in this, a couple of other mutants being in this, and the stakes being really high. And we get a bit of heart, like there's a lot of desperation in Deadpool to kind of bring Wolverine in at any costs, it seems, because I like that he doesn't want to lose the world that he's created, and it means a lot to him, and it's nice to have that kind of heart out of a character. We're also going to get a bunch of different Deadpools in there. We saw Dogpool already, who was licking his face. Headpool, I believe, is rumoured to be in it. Will Lady Deadpool be in it? Who knows? So, everything's up in the air. Is it all going to be like a bunch of variants coming together or just hiding away? All of that. Don't know, but I can't wait. And on that note, let me know your thoughts down in the comment. What are you expecting from this film? And that is all. Let normality resume. Bye.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey.
Cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes!